Welcome to Canberra
Metalheads.
Season 1.
The Archives. Alright, let's kick it.
Okay, so you got Marky, Malphas and
Benphegor.
We're joined here with...
I'm Todd from Psycroptic. Hey, everybody.
Awesome. Good to catch up with you, man.
Of course.
Especially the live recording here in the atmospheric basement.
Give it a fucking go, you know what I mean?
Cool. Yeah, so you said that you were talking off mic earlier about how you travelled here today. How was the trip, man?
I said that. No, it was fucking long, to be honest. It was like an 8-hour drive from Melbourne, but it seemed like maybe more like 10 in real life with stops. We would have left there at 6 or 7 a.m. I don't know. I had a bit of a blurry night myself, to be honest. The venue, Melbourne, is a super rad place. It's called Max Watts, but it used to be called Hi-Fi. And they do lock-ins after shows, so the crew and the bands can kind of fucking hang out at the bar, drink, smoke, and all the customers and the attendees fuck off. And it's just like, it's an after party for sure. It's small, but it's an after party.
Yeah.
It got blurry, and I was up late, and it got to the point where I'm like, if I go to bed, I'm going to miss lobby calls, so I'm better off staying awake. But I was really fighting for it because I was shot, and next thing I know, I was in the van. I was like, ugh.
Did you get to sleep much, or?
In the van, sitting up, so whatever. I don't know if that counts. We've been doing fly-ins for every show on this tour so far, but this is the first one where we had to drive, so it's just a bit of a different thing.
Yeah, I feel like everyone has to drive. Like when they come into Canberra, everyone drives. Like you never really
this is our third
anyone.
time here. Honestly, we did one show here earlier this year with Cattle D.
Yep.
And then one in February of 2017 with King Parrot and Revocation. So I guess this is 3 times now we drove in for all of them.
Yeah, no, it's some good names there amongst the
totally, this venue's sick.
Yeah.
So they obviously book,
Yeah, no, you
good
mentioned
tour
King
packages.
Parrot, man. I've seen them over the years play here as well, and how much it's grown. Actually, I think one of the first gigs that I came here for was like King Parrot weren't headlining; they were opening for a local band called Tortured. Like,
Oh shit!
No way.
Yeah, so
I didn't even know about that.
Kind of get to watch them grow.
Yeah,
that's cool.
As well as Psycroptic, man. Like I've grown up watching I've been in Canberra for 6 years, and over that 6 years, I've seen you guys here pretty much every time you've played here.
Gotcha.
So,
well, I'm the new guy, so I've only been to Australia a fair bit at this point, but they've been doing it for ages,
Yeah, right.
So it's fun. You see a lot of people that have kind of came up with the band and watch them grow from whatever small time hometown Hobart heroes that they were, and now they do shit all over the world. I mean, 90% of the shows we play are fucking international.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Which is rad, but we've been doing a ton of shit in Australia just because that's where we are in the cycle of the tour and the album and blah 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 blah. So we're putting out a record later this year. This is our last Australian bit on the old album cycle, and there's going to be another Australian tour that is yet to be announced when the new record and all that shit.
I'm definitely keen for that.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Definitely.
We're keen to crank some of the new record and stuff on the show as well.
Totally.
Yeah, next time you're in Canberra, hopefully
we're so excited about it.
Yeah.
It's like, a lot of people have been following this band since day one, and you're always going to get the people that yell out the classic song titles at shows, and they want to hear all the old shit. But to me, Psycroptic is one of those bands where their more current material is definitely their strongest. The new record is just a more streamlined version of that. Very sick. And it's a bit of a new take on things because this is the first time they've outsourced a mix to somebody besides Joe, who plays guitar. Since Observe It, that was 10 years ago.
Yeah.
So actually, a guy from New Jersey mixed the record, Will Putney, and he's done with it what I think the band has been missing for a few releases now, which is like it's more of a bigger, scarier, massive sounding production.
Excellent.
bands always had really clear recordings. There's a million things going on, so you want to hear everything. But this is like really pummeling. It comes with a pounding, you know.
Excellent.
So the production at least ups the level of intensity a bit more for me. You know?
Yeah, exactly. I think if you can encapsulate the feel of a live show as well as having it really clean, it's such a hard line to walk.
Totally.
But
well, you never want to put out a record that you can't match live. So yeah, I totally understand what you're saying.
And as well as being like, in the grand scheme of things, fairly new to the band.
Right.
Considering how long they've sort of been kicking for in the timeline,
right?
You can sort of see that from your perspective as well.
Totally.
You can sort of step into something and as it's evolved over the years, as opposed to coming up with it. It's not
totally. It's just a different perspective.
Yeah, exactly.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Fucking make me all nervous.
No worries.
Have you seen? This reminds me of that interview they did with Gull from Golgroth.
Okay.
And have you seen that, man? It's on a documentary called True Norwegian Black Metal.
Oh, it's the one where he's drinking the red wine.
Yeah. And it's sort of like, I don't feel like you're asking me the right question.
Right.
And it
just freezes up.
Just like pauses.
Yeah.
And I thought that the video paused. Like, I'm sitting there, like, refresh. I'm like, what's up with this? It was just he was staring so blankly. And the only reason I realised it wasn't a glitch is because the candle in the background was still flickering.
Right.
And I'm like, it's still playing.
No, that does happen. Certainly, sometimes it's tough to do interviews because nobody gives you something to work with.
Yeah. No.
Well, now we're just fucking hanging out. This is...
Yeah, that's why we sort of drop the questions after our first second band. We just want to let it flow, man. Like, we'd rather have a conversation, like, as a person to person.
Well, I mean, there's certainly things that people who are fans of bands want to know about. But it's also like the questions can get mundane after a while.
Yeah.
What are your influences? Every band. Exactly.
What was your favorite show?
Yeah. Basically, our first three shows. But no, man. No, it's good to see you guys here at the basement again. And
totally.
Like,
I'm super keen. I haven't seen you guys live before.
Really?
So, yeah, I'm pretty
Actually,
keen.
I was saying to Ben, it's so crazy because the first show we ever did, we took a photo of us in the studio for the cover photo, and I was wearing the Psycroptic hat. And I'm just like, now, like, Psycroptic's not only just the merch that I wore, it's like actually be able to interview the band.
It's awesome.
So, totally. That's right, man. It's awesome to have you on the show.
Killer.
So you guys have sort of done like a bit of a tour, and you said this is the last sort of tail end of it.
We've been doing a ton of random shit this year.
Yeah.
To be totally honest, it's like, it's not that it's unorganized. It's just you have to book certain shit in order to make it worth everyone's while. In other words, like, we were doing Download Fest back in March, maybe.
Yep.
We were doing the Cattle Tour back in February.
Yeah.
I live in the U.S.
Yep.
So it's kind of a fuck around to have me flying back and forth twice, and flights are expensive and so on and so forth. So we had to do Cattle. I think did 10 shows or maybe 9, but Psycroptic only did 5 of them because Cattle did New Zealand separately, and then Perth separately. But after the Cattle Tour was over, I wasn't going to go back home and then come back for Download Fest. So we filled in at least a month's worth of time with like shooting videos for songs that are going to be on the new record.
Yep. And
just doing a ton of shit to build up promo for the new record, photo shoots, this, that. I just officially joined the band this year, so we hadn't really done a proper, like, this is 2018 Psycroptic, You'd see, promo pics or flyers for shows, and it's just like, those are old photos with dudes that are no longer currently in the lineup. So we had to sort all that shit out, and then, while I was out here, they've booked extra shit just to make it. We went to New Zealand separately, and then we did one off in Perth and blah, blah, blah. So we've been doing a ton of shit that's not necessarily a tour, just shows here and there and whatever. And then we came back to do Brisbane and Sydney again in April with Revocation because they were coming out to do Direct Underground Fest, and that was with Isan. And why not? Why wouldn't we play a few of those shows? But we didn't play all of them, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then we did a U.S. tour in between then and now, which was with Aborted in May and June of this year. That was amazing. So it was awesome. So we've been bouncing around doing a ton of shit. But as far as full tours go this year, I guess I don't even know. My memory's kind of cooked right now to add them all up. I feel like we've been doing a ton of shit, but but at the end of the day, it might only add up to like 50 shows or something like that.
That's still pretty good.
That's maybe 40 shows, but it's only August, so we've been doing a ton. You know.
Yeah, awesome, man. So you said you're from the US. Whereabouts are you from?
I'm from New Jersey.
Awesome.
Yeah, so I've lived there my whole entire life, apart from maybe 1 year when I was in my late teens. But the guys love it over there. It's common for people to ask me whether or not I'm moving out here. Yeah. But you'd be surprised how much easier it is on the band that I live over there.
Yeah.
It makes more sense for me.
Yeah. So how did you meet the guys there?
Yeah.
How did that sort of...
All right, so there's a band from Boston called Revocation, right?
Yep.
Good friends of mine.
Yep.
Amazing band, by the way. One of my favorite fucking bands in this genre. Their bass player and I grew up together. And in 2014, they came out here, did a tour with Psycroptic, Die Artist Murder, and maybe Distant Tomb, and Fit for an Autopsy.
Pretty heavy names.
Bit of a weird lineup if you put them all together, but
hard-hitting
right. So I wasn't here for that, and at the time, I had never even been to Australia. Brett's a very, very lovable, personable dude, and the next time Psycroptic were meant to do a U.S. tour, Cam couldn't do it. The original bass player, and Sam couldn't do it, I guess, which was the dude who was filling in for Cam, who was also an Australian dude.
Yep.
So they were like, fuck, why don't we get a U.S. guy to fill in, because we'll save money on flights and visas.
Yeah.
Who can we get? They called Brett. At the time he got the phone call, I was standing right next to him at this place in Houston. We were on a tour. I think it was Revocation's headliner in 2015. And he's like, dude, Psycroptic just asked me to fill in for them. And I was like, well, are you going to do it? And he's like, I want to, but I don't know if I can, blah, blah, blah. He's like, well, you want to do it? No, I don't even play bass. So I didn't even own a bass. I was like, fuck yeah, I want to do it, but I don't know if I can. You know? So I agreed to it just on a crapshoot. They trusted Brett enough to take me on his recommendation without us ever even meeting, even ever hearing of me or whatever the fuck. And I'd always played in bands my whole life, but I never did anything on that level. It was always a bit more underground, shit that you'd never heard of, you know. Blah blah blah. So they were like, "Fuck it." They were hard up for a dude, and they did only like 20 something shows at Whitechapel at the end of that year. It was a last minute tour offer. They couldn't say no to it. They like to maximize their work visas over there anyway because they're expensive. So you buy them, you get them for a year, and then you want to go over as many times as you can without wearing yourself out. So maybe 2 or 3 tours in that 12-month cycle. I guess is worth your while, but the flights are long, and blah 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 blah. So we did the Whitechapel tour, and I thought for sure it was going to be just like a one-time thing. Before it was even over, they asked me if I'd do it again, and I just filled in for almost 3 years before I got the gig. But that's how it goes sometimes,
Yeah.
Cam is like a lifelong homie of all these dudes. He grew up with Pat. Pat's been in the band for 15 years. Obviously, Dave and Joe started it, but Cam wasn't just going to step down without kind of holding out for a bit to see if he still could make it work. And they're all best mates, so they were just like, dude, you make the call,
Yeah.
And then he finally was like, yo, I'm not going to tour with you guys ever again, so you might as well make a move on it, So I just got lucky. I was just in the right place at the right time.
Man, that's wicked.
It's a bit like when we interviewed the dudes from Autopsy. It's sort of like the singer was saying that Sauna had to train him and had to make sure that he was exactly what he wanted before he took over. Because he knew that he needed a good front. And he's the youngest member of the band.
He's 21.
Yeah,
it's Zach.
Yeah, Zach.
And just smashes it, man.
Yeah, he's awesome.
Yeah.
They were on that tour we did last year too with King Parrot.
Yeah. Yeah, they're a massive fan of the show. We're a massive fan of King Parrot.
Oh, they're awesome.
Oh, dude, it's just like I keep bringing it back.
Yeah. Awesome dudes, awesome band.
Yeah.
Especially now that they're traveling with Phil as well. That's such a for a little Aussie sort of metal punk band now to be over there with Phil in the US is just.
Well, they no longer, I guess, fit into the category of small.
I mean, like they've done really well for
it's
themselves.
like they say, how do you know when you're international act now? It's just like, well, that's how you can tell. It's like you said, all the international stuff that
if you've been doing if you're in this game long enough, you do get desensitized a bit to it. Last tour we did was with Aborted. Before that we were out with Cattle. Those are like fucking heavy hitting,
especially Cattle, man.
There's some death metal only can get so big. We did a tour with Dying Fetus last year in Europe. It was like 35 shows. It was amazing. But when you're direct support to Dying Fetus, It doesn't really get a lot sicker than that if you really think about it.
Yeah.
So you're like, damn, we're fucking doing this.
Yeah.
You know?
I suppose, too, when you get eased into it sometimes, just through natural progression, you're sort of like, whoa, I'm actually like the frog in hot water now.
Right. Well, there's always room to kind of climb, I guess. But all of a sudden, you wake up one day and you're on a bus with dying fetus, and you're like, whoa. It wasn't meant to go that way for me. I just stepped in shit. Joining this band is fucking awesome.
It sounds like it's been a really good natural progression for you to just like it fit into the band.
Well, what you were just saying about Autopsy, I mean, think about it. I don't know if you've ever fucking toured in a band for a living, but it takes so many elements to make it all work. It's not anyone can play the songs. Yeah. Well, not anyone can play the songs, but lots of dudes can play the songs.
Yeah.
I mean, if you just fucking spend a few hours searching YouTube, there's talent out there.
Yeah,
it's endless. And young kids. And it's a young guy's game, honestly.
Yeah.
But, like, you've got to have the resources to be able to tour. You've got to be able to take the time off to be able to tour. You've got to be a fun fucking dude to be around. And people get bitchy on the road. And we're just lucky.
Yeah.
There's not a single complaint in this camp, ever. I've never heard these dudes bitch once. And dudes get bitchy on tour, to be totally honest. They all fucking cycle together. They're like a bunch of fucking, you know what I mean?
It can happen, man. It's like, I think also...
especially when you're spending so much time together.
There's no personal space
in
a lot of situations. You don't have any privacy in a lot of situations. So you really got to get along with these dudes. I mean, you can always keep to yourself and just put your headphones on and listen to shit and just ignore people. But typically, I just never get burnt out on seeing these dudes. We fucking hang out.
Yeah, that's dope.
I think also because, coming from Tassie, most of their big gigs they'd be travelling for anyway, so they kind of probably be used to being on the road because they're in sort of not in mainland Australia.
Totally. Yeah.
So I guess
that's what I was saying before. 90% of their shows are international. They're from such a remote location that they have to travel and play. They can only do so many fucking hometown shows.
So
it's funny. It's like you think about it differently. I'm from the U.S. and 300 fucking something million people live there. And there's a million metal markets, and any place you go, you can play shows. And then you're like, bucket list item for someone like me, where I'm from, you go, oh, we're going to go to New Zealand and play shows. It's so killer. Yeah. You get to New Zealand, you realize, wow, these local bands that are from here, all they want to do is get the fuck out of New Zealand. It's true. It's like,
Yeah.
What else can you do? There's only so many places. There's only so much you can do when you're from such a remote, faraway place. And you're like, wow, you get your Ulcerate and whatever other bands come out of fucking... Whatever other bands have played this insane style of music, they're from small, remote places like that. They just want to fucking go. They want to see, they want to do the shit where I'm from.
Yeah.
It's a whole different way of thinking,
Yeah, like, alternatively, what's it like to play do a Tassie show, for example?
I've never played in Tassie.
Oh, really?
Friday will be my first time.
Oh, cool, man.
Went there for my first time earlier this year.
Oh, what was that like? What do you think?
It was amazing.
Tassie,
well, first of all, it's a beautiful place.
Yeah.
It's just gorgeous scenery, and it's not a lot of people live there, and I love that. It's like we did Iceland earlier this year. We played a festival in Reykjavik. Same thing. Really, really, really like small population. I fucking love that.
Yeah.
It's got a real home.
Less people, the better.
I mean, I live in a really densely populated area, and it's like a rad place, but it's just a whole different thing to go to this tiny little island all the way at the bottom of the map.
Yeah.
And you see, like, it just hasn't been ruined yet. Something about that's awesome to me,
Yeah.
And it's also awesome because Psycroptic has been doing this since the fucking 90s, if you really think about it. So to go where the band is from and see, oh, we used to rehearse in that building. Oh, we did a record here. Or we recorded drums for Observant in here. But it's just cool. It's like
pretty much
a little bit of behind the scenes shit. I stayed with Dave and Joe's parents. And it's like, wow, these dudes are legends. And this is where they came from. This is,
Yeah.
They grew up in this fucking house. How cool is that?
Yeah.
I met Pep's father, and it's just like, I don't know, shit like that is rad to me. You get involved in the history of the band, and then when you see it in person, you're like, whoa.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
It's pretty much like a wholesome history lesson.
Totally.
Yeah.
It's like a real life documentary. You walk in and you're like, oh yeah, this is the spot where where I learned how to play drums. How fucking cool is that?
Yeah, that's cool, man.
Yeah, that's awesome, man.
Yeah.
Now, do you have anything else just before we wrap it up that you sort of that you wanted to plug? You mentioned it.
Okay, so we're going to be announcing details very shortly, probably first week of September.
Yep.
But stay tuned for a record that's going to be coming out before the end of the year and a ton of tour announcements that follow.
Awesome.
So probably worldwide, everywhere. This tour has 3 shows left in it for us, so come out. Canberra tonight.
Yep.
Hobart Friday.
Yep.
And Jesus Christ, fill in my fucking memory gap. Adelaide, Saturday.
That's right.
And then that's it. That's a wrap. So thanks for having me, guys.
Yeah, thanks for coming on the show. This will come out next week. So
Gotcha.
Those shows.
Okay.
So like, if you were at any of the Friday or
Gotcha.
Saturday shows, hope you enjoyed them as much as we will tonight.
Absolutely, man. Cheers. Nice to meet you guys.
Awesome. Thanks very much. So you've been here with Mark and Ben,
the Metalhead Man,
and
no doubt, Canberra Metalheads.
Awesome. Thanks, dude.
Have a jam.
Sweet.
All right, you're here on Canberra Metalheads. You got Marky Malphas
and Benphegor.
We're joined with the guys here from Hadalmaw. Starting from left to right, we got
Sam Dillon, vocalist for Hadalmaw.
Ben, guitarist, and Nick, guitarist.
Okay, awesome. We just managed to catch you after your set, so it was cool to watch you guys play live.
All right, level with this. What did you think?
Yes,
man, absolutely amazing. The presence on the stage was fucking insane.
I love seeing
thanks, man.
performing and then like a show at the same time. So entertainment and music at the same time, and that for me really makes like a wicked live band.
That's awesome to hear, man.
We're just like in dinner, really.
Well, it's the first time I've seen you guys play live.
Yeah, same.
And leading up to this, we sort of like to do a little research and listen to some stuff, but I mean, adding that extra live performance just gives it that extra layer of personality and depth.
Well, that's the only thing you've got over. If music is free, then you have to really want and need to perform.
Yeah.
Because that's what it's all running the show.
Yeah.
If you don't have the confidence in your craft, why would you be up there?
Exactly.
You need to sell if you believe in your song because you wrote it, you spent your hard time and your intelligence on doing it. Give it 110% when you're up there.
Yep,
absolutely.
That's it.
Yeah,
you guys definitely gave it 110%.
It goes to show. And it's like also a cool build to be on as well. I mean,
amazing. Cool's an understatement. Yeah,
it's
unbelievable bill.
Yeah, it's a flawless ship-shape fucking bill.
Yeah.
And it's just been a massive tech fest, and everyone's just gone off with the new material. It's fantastic.
Yeah, couldn't be happier, really.
Yeah, so
perfect.
We scored a copy of the new EP and seen you guys play that as well.
Yep.
How's that been? Getting that material out on stage and smashing out the new stuff.
Intense.
Yeah. It's been great though because we were very conscious of that material being, really impactful in a live setting. So, and it's the response has been awesome. So that's kind of what we're looking for.
Awesome.
It's great.
Very anthem themed.
Yeah.
Yep.
Everyone knows that these boys can play their guitar quite well. And of course Rob Brennan's a human drum machine. So it's if you're gonna be good at that, you still got to be able to have a groove.
Yeah.
Have a groove, something for those people to sink their teeth in and bang along. So we definitely had a more aggressive live scenario in our heads when we were making this music.
Yep.
Awesome. Yeah. A lot of the time bands evolve over the albums, and you can see them sort of change. Was there anything in particular with this latest one that you wanted to really push?
Yeah, there was actually. Previously, in the previous two recordings, we'd just become absolutely obsessive about just recording perfection.
Yeah.
And especially with we went to ridiculous lengths to get the perfect take. Everything was exactly to the millisecond.
Yeah.
Exactly what it was supposed to be. And it achieved a very particular sound. So we kind of thought, well, we've done that. Cool. Now let's do something different. And we almost took a almost slightly grind ethic to this one, where it's just like, don't worry about it. Just if it feels right, sounds right, just go with it. Don't zoom in and measure things or anything like that. Just go with the vibe. So it was really great to do that. Quite freeing.
Yeah, and I think the result really shows it too.
Yeah.
Like the feel and the flow of it all is a lot more organic.
Yeah.
Went from a Parma to a Schnitzel.
Yeah.
Still going to fill you up. You're going to get that chickeny vibe, but you're not going to be knocked on your ass having a nap.
Absolutely, yeah. Well, I can definitely identify with those terms.
It's cold down here. I've got to get my winter weight on.
I've constantly got my winter weight on.
Yeah. No, that's good, and it's good to change it up and sort of go for that more, I guess, natural, organic sort of feel when it comes to writing. I know it can be a stressful process and recording and things like that.
Yeah.
So it's cool to hear that you are happy with what you got.
Yeah, which is a rarity.
Especially I know, especially once you get into the more technical side of metal, it's really hard not to be nitpicky. I noticed, over the years, people tend to, it's not 100% exactly perfect. You know what I mean?
I think people with that sort of genre, you can. It's the limits of human imagination. You can create anything you want. Like you can paint with any color.
Yeah.
But the problem is, if you are just, masturbating yourself, then that's not much fun. It's not much fun for the partner, which is your audience. So you need to include another person's ears in there. You don't have to go against what you believe in, that this is your band's sound and what you come to love about your identity and your aesthetic. But give them a groove.
Yeah.
Otherwise, it's just going to sit in your bedroom, just always getting remixed to yourself.
Yeah.
Are you saying you need to include someone else's ears in your masturbation?
Well, the audience needs something to masturbate to.
That's a different kind of wet willy. We're not
No, I think that you hit the nail on the head, boys, and also it's good to be able to back up a live show that is fairly similar to an album. You're not sort of sometimes people can glorify an album and make it very hard to back up and represent accurately in a live show.
Yep.
So I guess with that more organic, not so perfectionist sort of approach.
Yeah,
it's
take the
easy.
shiny out of it.
Yeah.
Give it that grit that we're known for.
Yeah.
But you don't have to have it polished to the point that it would never be able to be replicated.
That's right.
Yeah.
We're just
You
five
lose,
guys.
the more polish you got, the more personality you lose as well.
That's
Yeah,
right.
Absolutely.
You want it to be organic. You want it to be dangerous. You don't want it to be, I know exactly what's going to happen in the next 3 seconds.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
No, absolutely, guys. So we'll sort of we'll close it up from here. Is there any sort of things that you want to, aside from the EP and things, is there anything you want to spread or promote before we close it up? Plugs and things like that.
Well, that's all going to depend on when this episode is coming out.
This one comes out on Sunday. So
Sunday, okay. We're going to be hitting New Dead in Adelaide.
Yep.
It's a fantastic bill. We've got Black Dahlia Murder and Aborted as the headliners this year. So Adelaide is very spoiled. The bill that's going to be playing that day, and it is going to sell out if you're going to plan a road trip.
Yep.
It's going to be amazing. We're going to bring the entire Charlatan EP show to that one as well.
Absolutely.
So they're not missing out. We've done the 4 shows here with our good friends, our new family friends in Archspire and Psycroptic.
Yep.
And we'll see you in Adelaide in the end of September.
Awesome.
And pick up the EP.
Yeah, please.
Search us on Bandcamp.
Keep the machine rolling, keep some petrol in our cars.
That's
Let's
it.
keep doing it, boys.
For sure. Well, we usually close out an interview with a song. So is there any particular song that you'd like to hear after this?
It's a hard question.
You know what?
PGs?
Let's one of our songs or
Yeah,
just
yeah.
any song? I would like that remix of Peter Gabriel's Sledgehammer. No, let's go with Charlatan 2, Feather and Beast, the closer of our EP, and I think it's where all of the aspects of the aggression and the catchiness and the tech and everything, it just comes screaming through at the end, and it's a nice bookend to the start of the story that we're telling on Charlatan.
Awesome. All right, so stick around to hear some more Hadalmaw.
Thank
So
you.
get the pronunciation on that. Just what, Hadalmaw, or how do you say it?
Hadalmaw.
Yeah.
Think about
It's
Hades,
actually-
Underworld,
yeah.
and then think about more as in Latin for a big mouth at the bottom of the ocean.
Yep. Yeah.
But really, we're not.
Yeah.
We don't get insulted.
Oh,
Without anything from Hadalmaw. What is it? Halal Maw?
Hello, meow. Was
Halal Meow.
Troy's favourite.
Yeah.
yeah.
Hadal. It's the usual one. Oh, you're from Hadal.
People think it's hate or more.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or just you do
Or
that
hate
thing
them
when
all,
you go
yeah.
Hate them
meet
all.
someone's partner for the first time and you've forgotten the name, so you just mumble whatever. Oh yes, sugar mugger.
This is what was your name again?
Yeah.
Oh, you do.
You start busting out with the man dude bros.
Yeah.
Tick off man. Then you say dude. Then you say bro, and you're just hoping that someone has thrown you a bone and you know their name by the end of it.
That's what I do every interview.
Yeah.
Cheers, man.
This is my homie. Yeah, man. All right, so this is stick around with some Hadalmaw.
We're Hadalmaw, and
This is Canberra Metalheads.
Excellent. Sweet.
Bam!